in the field, on the field, everything we do, we dominate. That means kill a fly with a sledgehammer. But it's not about the fly you just hit. It's about the other flies that's watching.
Welcome to the very first edition of the Chennis Berry Show, as we talk South Carolina State football with Bulldog head coach Chennis Berry. Saturday, the Bulldogs ventured down to Bragg Memorial Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida, to take on the number one ranked HBCU team in the nation, the Florida A&M Rattlers. Rattlers came away with a big 22-18 win over South Carolina State. And Coach, let me tell you, that was a tough game, disappointing loss, but of course we played well, but I know you wanted to win.
Yes, winning is what it's all about. I thought our guys played hard. We just had to find a way to close games. We put ourselves in position to win the game, but at the end of the day, we didn't find a way to win, and that's what it's all about. Now, I'm very proud of their efforts, coaches, to try to put our young men in position to be successful. But, we have to now bridge the gap between performance and potential. There's a lot of potential, but we have to perform in a way that we can close out games like this. But, I'm very, very proud of our young men. We have a good football team. We really do. And I'm proud of their efforts more than anything. And, we just got to find a way to seal victory when we smell it, when it's right there at arm's reach. We got to reach out and go and grab it and take it and seize the moment. And we didn't do that this past Saturday.
I think the thing that really surprised folks, Coach, was the level of play in this football game. A team like Florida A&M, you typically play third, fourth game, fifth game of the year at that level. But the level of play in this game was like a championship playoff kind of atmosphere. And this was just game one.
We'll be fine, man. I tell you what, this was a learning lesson for our guys. I don't believe in losing. I believe in learning. And I told our young men, just keep their heads up. It's a long season ahead of us, but we got to find a way to taste that victory. And we're preparing for a really, really good Citadel football team this week. We're going to put this one to bed. I tell them whether we win, lose, or draw, we got 24 hours. And the 24 hours are winding down. So we have to be able to put this one to bed and get ready for really, really good Citadel football team.
As this game began on Saturday night, Coach, you could see your team grow. From that first possession, we didn't do a whole lot, but you see Eric Phoenix really kind of take control of things, and the team got better as the game went into the first quarter. Later in the first quarter, we were a whole lot better than we were at the beginning of the game.
I mean, when you look at the game and you go back and watch it, when we got back off the bus at 5:30 this morning, I asked our video guy, I said, man, is the film up? Because I wasn't going to go home until I watched it. So I went in my office, closed the door, and we had so many missed opportunities, man. I mean, the plan that we had, offensively, defense, special team, great plans. But we got to execute the plans. We had our opportunities, whether it been third down, backed up, red zone, to really, really put that team away. And we didn't do it. And when you're playing against championship-level programs, you got to be able to seize those moments. And I thought we had a great plan. I really did. I tell you what, we just didn't find a way to get it done when we needed to get it done.
We had some great individual efforts on both the offensive side of the football and the defensive side of the football. Positives, Coach. Florida A&M, very good team, stout defense. Duhart, I tell you what, he really put his fingerprint on this football team.
DeAndre Duhart is the real deal. I mean, he came from the last institution I was at, and he was a great back there, and he'll be a great back here. He's powerful. He's about 225 pounds, and he's a physical runner, and he plays the game like it's supposed to be played. So very, very proud of Duhart and his efforts. And more than anything, he'll keep getting better because it means something to him. So as you mentioned, DeAndre Duhart, I'm very, very proud of him.
You start talking about being proud of folks. The offensive line, there are a couple of miscues. I know you being a former O-line guy, a couple of those ineligible players downfield, those didn't make you happy. But that offensive line got control, and we talked about Duhart. Casey Adams played well. Tyler Smith played well. Josh came in, scored a touchdown. We did some positive things. It's just getting back to the details.
I'm very, very proud of Casey. For the most part, he and Duhart, carried the load. But it starts with the big guys up front. I was very, very proud of Trey Franklin. Trey Franklin was a starter that came back from last season, and he played one of his best games since he's been here. And very, very proud of him. But like you say, I thought our offensive line gave great effort. They had great pockets most of the day. We ended up giving up one sack with the offensive line. But the thing I like about that he came right back after that, never had another bad play, and that was Cam Johnson after he gave up that one sack. But I thought those guys gave us a chance, and whenever the O-line plays well, they give us a chance to win. And I thought they did a very, very good
We
job.
talked about the O-line. Coach Jordan O'Daffer's defense played really, really well. Thought Jaden Brogdon came in. People are talking about Jaden Brogdon. Well, this kid's coming from Division II. Can he play at the Division I level? I don't think I've ever seen anybody that fast off the ball. He gave Florida A&M nightmares on Saturday night.
I mean, JB is the real deal. I mean, I've been saying that since I got here. The guys that we brought over from the last institution I was at are Division I players. I mean, that's why they're here. But JB, like you say, he gave that tackle fits, and he's going to continue to do that for the rest of the year. He's a really, really good football player, and he kind of lived in their backfield. He gave that right tackle that they had a long day, and he'll be fine. Through it all. He's a guy that is cerebral. He's a great leader, and he'll find a way to galvanize the troops so everybody can play at a high level that he's playing.
Yeah, and talking about this game, there were several situations. I thought Florida A&M really, Coach, one of the things they gave us a little bit of fit was the two tight ends they used. They had two huge tight ends, the double stack on the outside. That was really difficult for the secondary to adjust to when you got those two big guys and you got the little guys coming behind them. Talk about that situation and how you try to defend that.
Well, one thing we always talk about on defense is having great eyes and great communication. And that's one thing we pride ourselves on, is not having our eyes in the backfield, making sure we read our keys. And we had a couple of situations where we had poor communication and our eyes wasn't in the right place. But kudos to them. They really have two really, really good tight ends that can cause people some problems. And they'll do that going forward throughout the year on teams that face them. But, I think once we clean up the communication and the having good eyes on our defensive staff, I think we'll be in really, really good shape.
All right, we're going to take a time out here. We're going to talk more South Carolina State football. Bulldogs and Rattlers from Tallahassee when we come back on this edition of the Chennis Berry Show.
A single moment can ignite a passion. With every play, a spirit of teamwork is forged, and determination evolves into success. Life is the ultimate team sport, and a trusted teammate makes all the difference. Our team at Founders Federal Credit Union works hard every day to offer the financial tools you need, backed by unrivaled member service. Relax, you're with Founders.
No one takes care of families like Prisma Health. As South Carolina's largest health system, we have nearly 600 primary care doctors across the Midlands and upstate, so you can choose the one who's right for you. With a more personalized approach, more locations, and more convenience, including 24/7 virtual urgent care and online or in-person visits with your primary care doctor, we're doing even more to help you be your healthiest you. Prisma Health, the primary care experts.
Welcome back to the Chennis Berry Show. It's time, the Prisma Health injury report. Unfortunately for us, we didn't have a lot of devastating injuries, or no devastating injuries, on Saturday night down in Tallahassee. But let me tell you, folks, it was hot. And it affected both teams. And, Coach, I thought at one time, I thought Florida A&M had more of a problem with the heat than we did.
Well, it definitely was hot. But, in our staff meetings, I believe in being proactive rather than reactive. So, I knew the temperature and the time that we were playing, it was going to be warm. So, I requested that we have, for certain guys that have tendencies or history of cramping, let's be proactive and get them an IV before the game. Well, that didn't take place, so we ended up having to get a couple guys out during the game or at halftime that we had to end up losing for a couple series. But, at the end of the day, I'm happy to get out of there with no major injuries at all. I thought the guys played hard, played fast, and played physical, but we got out of there scot-free in terms of injuries. So that's proud. I'm proud as a head coach that we got out of there the right way.
The Prisma Health injury report here on the Chennis Berry Show. And, Coach, talking about that, I noticed the way you guys warmed up. I know this seems to me like be small, but I thought really the way your team comes out, gets prepared before the game compared to Florida A&M is what we accustomed to seeing in MEAC. But it seems like Coach Irby brings people out in sections, and they really work. And by the time our kids go off the field to get prepared for the game, their engines are warm and raring to go. And I thought that made a difference in the football game.
Well, we try to do that. By the time we come out there as a team, we're already ready to go. And we bring them out there, and they're their fitted shirts, and we don't put the shoulder pads or anything like that to start the game, just to get them lathered up in different groups. So like I say, once we come out as a team, it's go time then. So I think Coach Obrey does a good job with that.
When we come back, we'll have Coach Jordan O'Dafford, the defensive coordinator at South Carolina State, in our coach's spotlight on this edition of the Chennis Berry Show.
You've never been afraid to put in the work. The extra early, extra late, extra work. Because you understand that education is the key that unlocks everything. Better pay, better hours, better opportunities, a better you. And playing the lottery is no different. Getting educated before you play gives you the tools you need to be a better player, like knowing when to play and when to take a brain check. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to be a better player.
Welcome back to the Chennis Berry Show. It's time for our coach's spotlight. And today we're going to spotlight defensive coordinator Jordan O'Dafford. Coach O'Dafford, welcome to Bulldog Country.
Go Dogs. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here today.
Talk about Coach Chennis Berry and your relationship, how you guys got hooked up.
Okay, so when Coach Berry got the job at Benedict College, there was a gentleman I knew that he had worked with at Southern University, and we had connected, just as mutual friends and through the coaching profession. And he actually gave a good word for me. And Coach Berry gave me a shout. And then as we were talking, I fit a couple of positions that he was looking to fill on his staff at Benedict, having worked in the state of South Carolina before. I had some recruiting inroads, having a background in strength conditioning, being a linebackers coach, and having experience as a special teams coordinator and as a recruiting coordinator. Those were all areas that Coach was looking to fill on his initial staff at Benedict. So I went out for the position, I accepted it, and then we just worked together since then. We're going into our 5th year together now.
Coach O'Dafford, of course, Saturday night, tough night for the South Carolina State Bulldogs. Before I get into Florida A&M, I'll ask you a quick question about Florida A&M. Talk about your philosophy and your ideal defense, what you try to build.
So the main thing we talk in terms of philosophies, I heard it said before that if you can't say it in 25 words or less, that you don't really have a philosophy. So I have mine down to 8 words. It's play fast, play hard, play smart, play to win. It's actually 9 words. Play to win is 3, not 2. But I have it down to less than 10. So, and when you look at those things, if you put those together quickly, play hard, obviously you have to play physically, you have to give great effort. Play smart, you have to make good decisions pre, post snap, and all that, and even after the play as well. Play fast. Well, obviously when we're locked in and we're going to be playing fast and getting to the ball quickly, and then you got to play to win. And that's not just the simple things. That's, even outside of the game of football, you want our young men to continue winning in the game of life.
Tough night for South Carolina State, going down to defeat the Florida A&M. Daniel Richardson was a handful. Man, we had him many times kind of bottle up. Tough to play against a guy like that talented, that can keep plays alive.
Yeah, just the tip of the cap. He did a great job of extending plays, keeping his eyes downfield. You could tell that he was looking to throw when he was pulling the ball down, not just to scramble. And he did scramble, extended a couple drives with his legs as well, but he was able to keep on finding talented receivers down the field. And if whenever it all breaks down, if it gets into a scramble drill situation, if you're not plastering to a receiver when you have him in your hands, you're wrong. And if you don't have a receiver in your hands, then you can pull the quarterback up. But you got to plaster or pull. And if you have one in your hands and you pull up, you're wrong.
Coach, look, we appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time.
Appreciate you. Go Dogs.
All right, Coach Jordan O'Dafford, defensive coordinator of the South Carolina State Bulldogs. We'll be back with more of the Chennis Berry Show right after these messages.
Why do we travel? Why do we fly? Are we called by the excitement of untold adventures in faraway places? Driven to shape the future of our world, or to share our world with future generations? We designed Columbia Metropolitan Airport for you, and her, and them. So when the day arrives for your next journey, we'll be ready to get you there. Columbia Metropolitan Airport. Fly with ease.
Welcome back to the Chennis Berry Show as we talk South Carolina State football with Bulldog head football coach Chennis Berry. Coach coming out of the locker room in the second half. Matter of fact, let's go back to the first half. I thought about something I want to mention to you regarding the first half. We scored, and that score at the very end of the first half. You were very aggressive With the football, where a lot of times folks would run out the clock, been happy to go in the locker room 7-3. We were aggressive with 1:45 to go. Got 3 points out of the deal. May have gotten a touchdown, but I thought that was very interesting. I think fans were really happy that we went after it on the road at Florida A&M.
Well, for me, I have an aggressive mentality, and I know we had plenty of time on the clock, and we needed to get in our 2-minute mode to be able to try to get a score before the half was there. And what I wanted to do was, we always talk about the middle eight, winning the middle eight. That's the last 4 minutes of the first half as we transition to the first 4 minutes of the second half. That's that middle eight. And I thought we did a good job with the middle eight. Just getting a score before the half. Like you say, we had an opportunity to score a touchdown, but we ended up, operating our 2-minute drill, and we ran out of timeout, so we had to clock it. And once we clock stops, we were able to get Kyle Gallegos field goal through the upright. So I was very, very proud of how we got to the halftime. And once we got in the halftime, like I always tell the guys, this is our game. We got to have a mindset with guys that come out this locker room, you better believe. Don't come out this locker room if you don't believe. And the young men were riled up, ready to go. And I just told the coaches, man, that the things that we're doing great, continue to do them. The things that we're not doing so great, let's get rid of. But I really, really thought there was a lot of self-inflicted negatives. It's nothing that FAMU really did the whole entire game to stop us or defensively to give us any problems. It was more of us versus us. And when you go into those first games, that's typically what happens. But I thought we came out the second half right. Their offense got a chance to go on the field first, and our defense was able to get them off the field and put the ball back in our offense's hands. So, I thought we had a really, really good plan. We just got to do a better job of finishing the drill when it's all said.
We mentioned the offensive line. In that third quarter on our possession, the offensive line took over, and that's where we saw DeAndre and KC really go to work, and you really dominated the third quarter and going into the fourth quarter with an 11-point lead.
I thought we did a good job in the third quarter. And, they were hungry when they came out the locker room. I think that first drive, I don't think we did much with that very first drive, but after that, I thought we had the ball rolling pretty good. We were running the ball off tackle pretty good and mixing up with, converting on third down. That was the nemesis of the whole game. We weren't very good on third down, and they were pretty good on third down. And like I say, a lot of it, even when you get to our third down, it was a lot of self-inflicted negatives. It was things that were open, but again, we have to be able to execute when it's all said and done, and we'll get better. I mean, I'm very encouraged with our football team, very, very proud of our football team, because things that we wanted to do were there. Just got to do a better job of executing the things that we wanted to do. But third quarter, we had it on our mind, and now we got to find a way to get to the fourth quarter and finish football game.
Start talking about this game. We haven't mentioned special teams. I really can't go to show without talking about the special teams from a punt standpoint, from a field goal standpoint. Those kids really played well. And, you talked about how important that is, Coach. I thought they really did a good job on Saturday night.
I thought our kickers were amazing. Whether it was our punters and spotting the ball, putting the ball where we wanted to be and flipping the field. I mean, there's a couple of times where, I tell you what, man, they flipped the field. Dyson Roberts was great, and Maxion Cobb. But our long snapper was great.
Yeah.
When you look at Connor Lucas, he was awesome the whole game as well, whether it be his long snaps on punt or his short snaps on field goal. And then Kyle Gallegos, guy that we got in this year, he did a great job of placing the ball on our kickoffs right there to the left corner. He did an excellent job with that. And I'll tell you what, he put the ball through the uprights on field goals. So they did their 111 for the most part. I was very, very proud of our specialists.
Bulldogs, of course, a little disappointed going down to defeat the Florida A&M 22-18. We'll take a time out here with Coach Chennis and come back and tell you what's up next for your South Carolina State Bulldogs.
Hey, grab me one too.
Welcome back to the Chennis Berry Show. It's time for the Food Lion SAG to Give Back program, where Food Lion donates 1,000 families to folks in the Orangeburg community for every sack that the Bulldogs get. And this past week, the Bulldogs did register a sack. Jaden Brogdon from Moncks Corner, South Carolina, register to SAC for the Bulldogs, and for that, Food Lion will donate 1,000 meals to folks in the Orangeburg area. We'll have more of the Chennis Berry Show right after these messages.
Come to South Carolina State University. Here you'll find unlimited possibilities for wherever you want your college career to take you. Since 1896, we've trained generations of scholars and leaders, building a legacy of excellence. Explore our stellar academic programs, including nuclear engineering, military science, biology, education, computer science, agribusiness, and more. Enjoy student-focused activities and organizations and discover your passion. Dare to be great. Enroll now and join our legacy of excellence at South Carolina State University.
Your home is where your memories live, where you laugh, and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise.
Welcome back to the Chennis Berry Show. Before we get into next week, start talking about the Citadel. Let's go back and talk about the fourth quarter, Coach. It was a tough fourth quarter for South Carolina State, and especially that first scoring drive, up 18-7. Florida A&M scored in about 4 plays.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still going back and trying to figure that out. You know, we went up 18-7. We brought the team together. We got our little chant going. I saw it in their eyes. They wanted to finish and find a way to win. But we didn't get it done. You know, we had our opportunities to really put this team away when we went up basically 18-7 in the fourth. And, you know, they end up getting the ball and they took it down fairly fast. I mean, it was a quick score by the time they got in the end zone. So, but still, we're up 18-15.
Right.
We're up 18-15 because they ended up going for 2.
Right.
All right, to put themselves, and they converted on their 2-point conversion as well. But again, we still have an opportunity to put them away. And then we had a third down situation that we put ourselves in. It was a great play, excellent play, but our receiver, Ianaj Carter, took his eyes off the ball a little bit early. You know, he caught the ball, then obviously didn't finish the catch, and it's about finishing. Because if we finish the catch right there, we continue to possess the ball, and we never give their offense another opportunity to get back on the field for that winning drive. But, you know, the moments, seizing the moments. That's the thing I want our guys to, again, learn. We didn't lose, we learned. So we learned from it how important when we talk about those situations in practice. This game of football really came down to situational football, whether it be 4-minute offense, 2-minute offense, third down offense, first down offense. All that matters, as well as third down defense, situational defense, all that matters. And then, you know, just understanding, you know, in those first games, we can't shoot ourselves in the foot with what we call sins. Those are self-inflicted negatives. Sometimes it has nothing to do with the opponent. You know, respect to our opponent. Florida A&M had a good football team. But a lot of things, when you watch the film, I mean, we put it on ourselves, and we got to find a way to do a better job of finishing games.
Bulldogs don't have long to worry about that. They start again this week, taking on the Citadel down in Charleston. Citadel coming off a big win over Charleston Southern. Now it brings us to our keys of the game, presented to you by Davis Toyota. And Coach, when you start talking about keys to the game for South Carolina State against the Citadel, it goes back to those sins, as you mentioned, into this next football game.
It always comes down to those. You know, you can't beat yourself. And, you know, when we get ready for the Citadel, they're coming off a big win. They came back versus Charleston Southern. And so they're playing with a lot of confidence right now. We're going to their first home game. It's a noon game. So we're going back talking about conditions again. All right, making sure we're hydrated, making sure that we have enough fuel in the tank to finish the game. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I think that had an effect on us this past week because although we started fairly well, we didn't have any fuel in the tank to be able to finish. And we had a very trying week with, you know, a lot of things that we had to do that were out of our control that a lot of people don't know. But at the end of the day, I thought our young man did a good job of focus. But as we get ready for the Citadel, good football team. They're believing. I'll tell you what, Coach is going to have his team ready to go. He's a guy that knows about this program. He's worked here before. So, you know, we get a chance to go against another Bulldog. and we'll be ready to go. And I'm sure he'll have his team ready to go as well.
Coach Charleston's just a short way from Orangeburg, so there'll be a lot of Bulldog fans down in Charleston. Coach, this will be kind of like a home game of sorts because we'll have a huge crowd. May even have more Bulldog fans down there, South Carolina State Bulldog fans, than Citadel Bulldog fans. And I know you want to put out the plea to get the folks out this weekend.
Absolutely, man. We want each and every one of you Bulldog fans, South Carolina State Bulldogs, to come out and support. You know, we really, really feel good about our young men. They worked extremely hard. They know we let one slip away. But we want to make sure that we put our best foot forward against a really, really good Citadel football team and try to bring home victory. Our mission doesn't change. We want to go 1-0 every day. Everything we do, we try to have a 1-0 mindset. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of your faces into place as we go down to Charleston, South Carolina this weekend to try to secure victory.
All right, folks, kickoff is at 12 noon on Saturday. The pregame show starts on the radio, on the Bulldog Football Radio Network at 11:45. We want to see you in Johnson-Haygood Stadium when the South Carolina State Bulldogs take on the Citadel Bulldogs. And next week, right here on the Chennis Berry Show.
In the field, on the field, everything we do.